What's up, comic book fans? We're back with another episode of Cbfu from the shop, and we're reviewing comic books for the week of February 18th. So, you want to just get into this?
Sure. My first book is Silk #1. This is by Robbie Thompson and Stacey Lee on art. This is the first of the Spider-Verse spin-offs. This is focusing on Silk. And you know what? I wasn't expecting much going into this book. I really wasn't. I'm not that huge a fan of Silk as a character. I didn't really think she needed a book of her own. I don't think a lot of these new Spider-Verse characters need a book of their own. But this book actually really surprised me. I actually found myself really enjoying it and rooting for Silk. They give her a family I never knew she had. They give her a backstory. They give her more of they give her a roommate. They give her a life that I don't think she's ever had in the regular Spider-Verse books.
There wasn't any time to give her a life in Spider-Verse books.
So for a book I didn't care about, featuring a character I didn't think needed a book, I really liked this. I thought it was a really good first issue.
I mean, it was a strong first issue, and you know, if you didn't know Silk and you wanted to just jump into it just because you're interested, because hey, it's like another female Spider-Man. I mean, even though you have Spider-Woman, Spider-Gwen, the freaking Funko Pop Spider-Woman. I don't know. There's so many Spider characters. They're all over the place. Yeah. But even if you didn't know Silk and you just wanted to jump into it fresh, it's strong at introducing the character. Yeah. What I didn't like is the fact that I know the character, and there were certain things that they left out, whether it was going to be kept in the epilogue of Spider-Verse, or whether or not there was just things that I missed in the Spider-Verse event. It's just that took away from the whole reading thing. There's a part in there where her silk sense is kind of wonky, and it's not working the right way, and it says "See Spider-Verse," and I'm like, when in Spider-Verse did that happen? You know, and things like that bother me, especially in a first issue. I shouldn't have to reference somewhere else. Yeah, I don't know. It's a little nitpicky thing, but it really kind of took away from the story for me. And then her standoff relationship with Peter, whether spoiler alert, they're drawn to each other because of their spider heritage, but just what happened that they had a falling out. Or
I didn't think they really had a falling out in the book. It just seemed more like they're just
trying to avoid each other.
They know what happens when they get within
distance. But see, at the end of Spider-Verse, it was kind of felt like they were setting up so they had a little bit more chemistry rather than besides just the physical part of it. I don't know. Like I said, it's a nitpicky thing. All in all, it was a strong first issue.
Yeah.
So
no, I liked it. I liked it a lot. For people who might not be prepared to give Silk #1 a chance, I would give it a chance. Give it the first issue to see how it is. In some ways, it's similar to the DC, Batgirl, especially the art, the Stacey Lee art. It's
it reminded me. I feel like Stacey Lee was she the artist on I Love You, Spider-Man, or the Mary Jane book? It looked like that same type of art.
I didn't get that, so I don't know. But it's good. It's an enjoyable first read. It's funny. It's action, and if you can have even a passing interest in Silk or the Spider-Verse universe, I would give it a try. Yeah. I would give it 7 out of 10 Lugos.
I like that. So next up on our docket, we have from Grant Morrison and Jim Lee on art is the next issue of Multiversity, and this is the Mastermen issue, which is what are we going into the whole basically Superman being found by the Nazis, Nazi Germany. You know, we had the Red Sun where he was found by Soviet Russia, so now it's kind of a new take on that. Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed this book a lot. It kind of felt like an Elseworld from back in the day. When I know that the Multiversity books have been hit and miss for whatever topic they were going on, but just the way that Morrison builds the world here so quickly and so rapidly introduces you to each member of this Nazi Justice League, I really enjoyed it. And just the layer of story in the background, and then it all weaves again back together at the end. I don't want to spoil anything for it, just because it was such an intriguing read. But I liked it a lot. And Jim Lee on art. Come on.
Yeah, no, you can't go wrong with Jim Lee on art. And it's this is, out of all the Multiversity one-shots, this is the one that seems the least connected to the rest of them. There's a small
very self-contained.
There's a small part of one character who appears in other of the Multiversity books, but other than that, it's a completely self-contained one-shot. That's probably the best thing Grant Morrison's done at DC in a really long time.
Batman and Robin.
Yeah, Batman and Robin. Since then, since this early Batman and Robin stuff. It's just a really good book, and I enjoy it a lot. And the Jim Lee art, can't do wrong with Jim Lee.
Really can't. I mean, there was a good amount of action in here, and you were usually waiting for those big iconic splash pages from Jim Lee, or one of Overman, as he's called in here, not Superman, and we didn't really get too many of those. Trying to skim through real quick if there's anything that stood out, but just small panels, and when he does use the iconic Superman pose, standing over, just seeing him imposing. It's just Jim Lee art, man. You just want to take a picture of it and use it as your screensaver.
It's hanging on your wall.
But yeah, I would actually give this 8 out of 10 Lugos.
Yeah, no, it's really good.
Really
even
good
if you're not a fan, Grant Morrison stuff lately.
Even if you're not following the whole Multiversity, this is just a good read.
Yeah,
it
definitely
like a graphic novel.
Give this issue a try. It's really good. Okay, our next book is the conclusion of Jeff Johns' The Amazovirus storyline. This is Justice League 39 by Jeff Johns and Jason Fabok. First of all, Jason Fabok's art is beautiful. I think it's the best art that's been in the JLA since.
Since Jim Lee in the beginning.
Since Jim Lee in the beginning. He's just a beautiful artist. He does all the characters that look really good. And in some ways, I love this book. I love Jeff Johns. I love his take on all the characters. He comes back to a character he hasn't been on in a while in the very end. That it's his voice.
Just one line of dialogue, and it like, takes you down memory lane.
It's like, thank God you understand my character. Jeff Johns understands these characters and does each one perfectly.
What I like the most, and I gotta point it out, is just the way that he writes. What's his name? Snart, Captain Cold.
Yeah.
Man, like, I want him to be a hero.
Yeah.
He makes you, like, it was hard in the beginning, like, you see Lex and you see the members of the Rogues on the cover of Justice League, and you're like, I don't know if I can buy that, they're forcing it. But no, it's just the way he writes him, and Snart's always had that, sympathetic feel to it, where he's just like this average guy who just so happened to have stumbled upon a life of crime and stuff. But I want him to be in the Justice League. I want him and Lex to stay on the Justice League for longer. I don't know if it's going to stay after Convergence, but I've been enjoying it a lot.
No. And it just makes me feel like DC, if DC Comics is listening, I don't know if they're listening.
Probably
not. No, probably not. But just give Jeff Johns some more books. Even if it's just like 6-issue miniseries, just give him more stuff.
You could give him any character that doesn't have a solo series from this Justice League.
Even if it's just like a 6-issue mini of different characters, he is your rock star, and you're putting him to just one book is a crime. It's a crime against humanity.
I mean, well, he's basically like their event guy now.
Yeah,
he's their go-to event guy. So,
and I wouldn't want him to leave Justice League because I love him on Justice League, but I mean, give him just
anything else.
Like one more book. Just give him 2 books at least. He's just great. He knows the characters. He does more with Wonder Woman in like
2 pages. That 2 pages,
It just makes me okay. I want you to write a Wonder Woman book. It's just amazing.
It would be the best Wonder Woman.
It would be. He could do the best of any character. He's the one I want to see. But at least he's still on Justice League.
And what would you give that? What would you give Justice League after that? I mean, you regaled it pretty highly.
Yeah, I would give it 8 out of 10 reviews.
I would have given it a little bit higher, especially for the end of the Amazo arc.
Yeah, that's really
And last up, we have the conclusion to what began in the original Sense tie-in for Uncanny X-Men. I don't even know what we're calling this story anymore. What was it, the Omega Mutant?
I guess it's the last Will and Testament of Charles Xavier. I guess that's how it started.
It's here, guys. It's almost
doesn't even say it on the cover.
Yeah, this is nothing. But this is the end of the arc that Bendis started.
It's the end of the Matthew Malloy storyline.
And it's not what I wanted. It's not a bad book by any means. I mean, it's a little bit too neat how he wraps up this whole, how they deal with Matthew Malloy and him being this Omega Mutant. I thought it was way too neat, and just everything that characters have been going through in these past almost a year worth of comics, it kind of feels undone to me. I know you guys have a different opinion. You and Sam especially have a very different opinion, but I feel like the bad guys won, and that's what this book left me with. The bad guys won.
Yeah, I mean, it leaves Cyclops in a different place.
Yeah, no, I'm very much looking forward to that.
And I think that's where this whole arc was leading to. And the disappointing part of the book is that the Matthew Malloy part of the book, that they seem to be such an important part, really doesn't amount to much.
Yeah, it feels like all those issues we spent getting to know him was just Bendis spinning his tires.
Yeah.
Because like, we can't spoil it for you, obviously, but it's just, I don't know, it just wasn't what I wanted. Again, I really, really like where it left off, where it's taking Cyclops, where it's taking all the X-Men, really, in general. And from what we know in Time Runs Out, that the X-Men do have reconciliation of sorts, and they're all together on base.
And whatever this is, wherever leads Cyclops, that's
leads into that. I don't know. I don't know.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I thought I wasn't always a big fan of this Matthew Malloy arc. I thought it went on
way too long.
But the stuff Bendis has done with Ava Bell, she was a character I really didn't care about before those 2 annuals and now this issue. But she is tough as nails now.
And you know what it feels like to me? What I find is so underwhelming is that what Bendis did with Isabel was genius. It was great. Like how we've seen her character mature and evolve. I really wanted to get to know the rest of the squad that way. And there's certain characters in it that I really did care about. Like Goldballs was a cool character. I wanted to know more about him. I wanted to see what the evolution of his powers were.
There wasn't any
time for that. And well, I feel like maybe there was supposed to be time, and maybe Secret Wars kind of cut it short. You know, there's always these rumors around about, oh, maybe they are shelving X-Men. But I really feel like Bendis wanted to be on X-Men longer than he announced that he's.
Well, he said he has more stories. Just because he's leaving as the
main X-Men
writer doesn't mean he doesn't have X-Men stories to tell.
I mean, I would love to see him take like that core group of young X-Men and continue to evolve them, because I feel like they're going to get lost. Yeah. The same thing that happened to the cast of Wolverine and the X-Men once Jason Aaron left that book, and I'd hate to see that happen to some of those characters.
Yeah. No.
But all in all, I mean, for me, I know this was a disappointing read. I would give it honestly 5 out of 10 Lugos. I would give it a little higher, but
go ahead. As a Cyclops fan,
not even as a Cyclops fan, just as an X-Men fan, and how great how much this series has ramped up in the past couple of issues. Yeah. And this is just a really lackluster ending.
It was an easy out. It reminded me sort of like in the and I said this before about Spider-Verse. And like the Buffy, where they had this big bad, and they made him so powerful.
Whatever
by the time they wrapped up, it was like, oh, that's how you beat him. That was easy. You couldn't do that before.
He tripped on his shoelaces.
Yeah, exactly. I would give it a 7 out of 10.
Not that much higher, but you know, 2 points. 2 points means a lot.
Yeah.
Pass and fail.
Yeah.
Well, guys, that's it for us today. CBFU from the shop. Some great comics this week, really strong.
Really good books.
But as always, you can buy comics here at Manifest Comics in Bayonne, New Jersey.
And we'll see you next week.
Next week, guys. Bye.